When countries go to war, the politicians treat it like a game, start moving armies and troops around like pieces. The nations involved will start blowing off their emergency budgets and disregard everything in order to fund the war effort. This figure goes up and down throughout the war due to investors watching the odds of victory, much like sports betting. The politicians will continue to move their pieces, hoping for an opportunity to defeat the enemy. This simply carries on until the political agenda is achieved, the war becomes infeasible, or one or more of nations is going to win and the other surrender. There's no real winners in a modern-day war. The first or even last action made by a superpower is going to be pushing a button that will obliterate life as we know it and erase the whole planet and environment. When most people think of war, they think of the environment being ruined, cities that were once metropolises annihilated to rubble, the deaths of millions of people. Yet one aspect of war, which is many people do not consider, is the long-term toll wars have on a country's economy. It shows that the U.S. has paid for its wars either through debt, like in World War II, the Cold War, and the Afghanistan and Iraq War, taxation, like they did in the Korean War, or inflation, like they did in the Vietnam War. Not only does the economy suffer because of using large amounts of money to fund the war effort, but during wars, other costs are a loss of buildings, infrastructure, and a decline in the working population, uncertainty, rising debt, and disruption to normal economic activity. All of these have their own costs. For example, infrastructure and buildings have to be rebuilt. A decline in the working population also leads to labor shortages. Some people claim that war does have a benefit, such as in World War II, Japan and Germany reduced unemployment by successfully having a totalitarian military state. But the same result could have been achieved from spending on hospitals and education. The problem is that politicians often treat a war of greater importance than spending on other infrastructure.
As well as wars destroying the economy, wars also destroy the lives of thousands of people in their cities. Countries that fought in war have to suffer from their monuments, houses, and buildings getting destroyed in war. In Nagasaki, high-quality steel frame buildings were not completely collapsed, but the entire building suffered mass distortion, and all panels and roofs were blown in and thousands of houses were destroyed. In World War II, over 400,000 German citizens were killed in air raids, and hundreds of thousands of people lost their homes in bombings and air raids. Major cities such as Hamburg, Dresden, and Berlin were completely destroyed in the war. In World War II, over 80 million people were either killed in battle or were civilians. Thousands of people were brutally tortured, whether it was concentration camp or prisons. The Japanese were especially brutal with torture during this time, and torture methods that involved cutting off skin of living prisoners and impaled by growing bamboo shoots. Other countries also drafted soldiers. This impacted the lives of thousands of young Americans and their families.
Another toll that wars have on countries is that wars can completely suppress a country or area's culture. There are a few reasons for this. One reason is that if a country gets invaded, the invaders will want to completely suppress the country's original culture. This also happens with colonization. When the Spanish came to California, they tried to convert all of the Native Americans. And a more recent example is the USSR, when no one was allowed to practice their own religion since it was communist. Every case is different, but generally, wars are very bad for a country's culture. The transition from a war economy to a peacetime economy can also be very difficult, though there is no clear effect. It depends on too many variables. War is very unfortunate in that sense and is also not a good way to solve any political issue. It's bad for every aspect of a country. Yet, unfortunately, wars are a part of human nature. Especially in today's day and age, it would permanently destroy life as we know it.